Hello, we are in the Manitoulin Eco Park and Dark Sky Preserve.
It is leg 11 of our epic Thunder Bay road trip 2025.
We're in trailer site number 2.
It's in the forest campground.
Yep, and we're kind of in between 1 and 3. And 1 and 3 are, though they have trailers on them, are unoccupied, so we have a nice little private spot here.
So this park has basically 2 campgrounds. There's the forest campground and the dark sky campground. They have maybe 24 sites that will take a trailer, and they've got a list on their website of how big a trailer will fit on each site. But there are only 3 serviced sites, 1, 2, and 3, which are right by the road, which is fine.
The road's not super loud and busy or anything, so it's fine. And
it looks like 1 and 3 are hardcore seasonal campers.
Yeah.
Site 1 even looks winterized. So chances are Site 2 is your choice if you want to just do some daily camping and you want to service site. But I think even in the Dark Sky Preserve section, you can get a trailer in some of those sites, and there isn't a ton of tree cover there. So it would be a good place to do some boondocking with solar and that kind of stuff, especially if we break down and get that second lithium battery.
Right. And and of course the reason for the lack of tree cover is because the point of it is to see the sky. So, and in addition to the camping, they do have some cabins as well.
They've got all kinds of things. So there's hammock camping, there is just plain old campsites, there is a teepee, they have some group sites. I think they have a couple of cabins. There's certainly some buildings on the property that where they can do some education stuff. So it's quite a place, really. They do have they don't have a comfort station per se. They have some toilets that are not too far from where we're camped, which are flushies, and I think they have some privies located around the camp as well,
including very close to our campsite. But we haven't even looked in it, so
we're only here for 2 nights.
And it's a 30-second walk to with a flush toilet, so yeah.
Right.
So when we first arrived yesterday, when we still had some nice weather, we took a little hike around the park. We went on the Jim Guy Trail. We found the trails very well marked, Joel? And a little kitschy with little kitschy trail markers, some interesting information about some of the trees and so on as you go along. And it was a nice forest walk. Then you get into the Dark Sky Preserve, see what that's all about. And we did a nice little loop, and it was a pleasant walk.
Yeah, they have a network of different trails that interconnect. I think another one that we were on was called Fossil
Lane.
And they're all color-coded, and there are trail markers of various types that pretty consistently follow the color coding, so good on them for making it easy for people to understand where they're going. Yeah, so like you say, we had a quick little tour of the park, and we're looking forward to seeing what a Dark Sky Preserve can do for a starry night.
Which we have not had. We kind of arrived when we started out, it was kind of sunny, and it got increasingly cloudy, and then last night downright rainy. So we planned our day accordingly. There's no stargazing in the stars for us. So I guess we'll have to try to do it another time. So today, because we started out in the rain, we thought, well, let's start by doing an indoor thing. And we went to Paravale Gallery, which is a very highly rated place to go on Manitoulin Island, and from our perspective, well deserved. It's beautiful. It's basically someone's home is there, and then they have another building that is for the gallery. Beautiful gardens outside, and the gallery itself, which is a good size, has just all kinds of just spectacular artwork, paintings, jewelry, sculpture, woodworking, all kinds of things. And
some fabric art, some ironwork, lots of different things. Really beautiful stuff, and some of which we're tempted by, so we're going to think about that.
yeah.
Then and we should mention that on the way here, as you're coming down Highway 6 from Espanola, you pass through the town of Little Current, and we stopped there and visited the Manitoulin Brewing Company, and they have a sukdev.ca food truck. Sukdev.ca is very highly regarded Indian food. They have restaurants. They have one in Massey, actually, which is where we just were. And they've got one in Espanola, and they've got a couple in other places.
Mm-hmm.
And we noticed even today, driving around Manitoulin, there's another Sukdev food truck stand coming soon. So they are doing well in this neighborhood, and the food was very good. So we had a snack from there, and a flight of beers from Manitoulin Brewing Company, which we quite enjoyed.
Yeah, we really liked their beer.
And had a nice chat with the bartender, who's from here, but goes to school in Guelph. So the only road I guess she will drive on is Highway 6, which starts up here and goes all the way down to the 403.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the Paravel Gallery, the rain stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly the skies didn't particularly clear up. But so we went on a bit of a wild tour of Manitoulin. We went to the town of Gore Bay, where we visited the Split Rail Brewing Company.
Because it was lunchtime by this time.
Right.
And the Split Rail Brewing Company is right on the water in by a marina, so lots of yachts there, beautiful view. Their beer was fine, not as good as Manitoulin Island to our taste. Manitoulin, what's it called?
Brewing
Company. But we enjoyed it nonetheless, and we had some really delicious grilled cheese sandwiches there with the iconic Manitoulin Island hawaberry jam. So hawaberry jam is kind of iconic for Manitoulin. It's made from the fruit of the hawthorn tree.
And right next door is Finia Chocolate and Cocoa. That's a fancy place where they do a lot of sort of specialty gourmet chocolate stuff.
It's fancy as in they take their chocolate seriously.
Gourmet chocolate, let's say that.
Yeah.
And happily, they have little chunks of all of the various types of chocolate that you can buy there. So we tried several things.
He means chunks that you can sample.
Thank you. And which we did. And so we picked out a few that we really enjoyed. And what's nice about it is, the packaging tells you about the source of the cocoa beans and
percentage of cocoa, so you can tell how sweet it is, and whether it's milk, obviously. Yeah,
so that was really good, and we enjoyed that. And then it was off to Kagawong. Now, Kagawong is another little town. They bill themselves as Ontario's prettiest town, and sure, your mileage may vary, but let's go for that. They have a few interesting things there. They have a nice little trail that goes to a Bridal Veil Falls. You walk down the creek and see the falls, and it's quite the active swimming hole. So it was a gray, not particularly warm day, and there were lots of families coming there
to swim.
People swimming in the pool where apparently at the appropriate time of year, salmon will come and spawn.
Yeah.
So they have signs about, don't mess with the spawning salmon. And why would you?
And I did, we did not go swimming. I did feel the water. Water was warm, so I could see, and it's very pretty spot, but yeah, very popular. So if you are looking forward to a secluded base of the waterfall swim in the nude, this is not your place.
Depending on your level of
comfort with being arrested.
Right. And then, just walk back up the trail towards the water where you will find the Old Mill Heritage Center, which is a little museum they have in the town, and it was quite excellent.
Yeah, we hadn't really intended on going in there, but we were it was right there, so let's poke our noses in, and we were impressed.
Here's some old stuff from around here, but it talked about the history of the fishing and the mills and all of the different boats that have served as ferries that have brought people between Tobermory and Manitoulin. Mm-hmm. That was quite interesting. And also there are some notable politicians who are from this area. The most notable, to my mind, is Lester B. Pearson, who was the MPP, or MP, I should say, for Algoma, which includes, this area, for, what did you say, 20 years. Mm-hmm. And obviously, notable Prime Minister of Canada, and they have his...
the Toronto airport is named after him. Yes.
For example. And many schools and so forth. Mm-hmm. They have his Order of Canada medal, which was interesting. And they also have the certificate from the Nobel Prize Foundation, marking his winning of the Nobel Peace Prize. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the mayor of the town worked very hard to get some of his things brought from Ottawa. You can read about that online. Because particularly when conservative government got in, they kind of brushed the Lester B. Pearson
his legacy
kind of under the rug. That mayor himself is of note. The claim is that he's the longest continuously serving politician in Canada. I keep meaning to fact check that because I wanted to compare to Hazel McCallion of Mississauga, but we'll see.
See how that turns out. And then the last thing, just around the corner from the museum, and we should say, the rest of the town, quite nice. They have a nice little playground there and beach and things like that. But
prettiest town in Ontario?
Who's to say?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly. And then our last stop on the whirlwind tour of Manitoulin Island was the Manitoulin Chocolate Works. And for the benefit of science, we thought we should check out the other fancy chocolate place on the north shore of Manitoulin. And we got some nice truffles there and some licorice all sorts that they make, which are great. They're lovely and fresh and very tasty, just the way one likes it. And we also tried the truffles. Really good.
Really good.
So where Finia in Gore Bay is sort of the chocolate gourmand type of specialty place.
Yeah, more into the here's a plain bar of chocolate from this region.
Manitoulin Chocolate Works.
They're looking for just the commercial success, sort of what appeals to the public sort of stuff, lots of chocolate coated almonds, etc. But also really good, and they have a lot of things in their store besides chocolate, notably a lot of what my brother would call British rubbish, which
trademark.
Jams and cookies and things imported from the UK, which for us in Mississauga, we can pick that up, a lot of that at the grocery store, but not so much at the grocery stores around here. So I suppose there is some novelty to seeing these things.
They're doing the Lord's work, making British rubbish available to people on the North Shore of
That's right.
Manitoulin.
That's right.
And also really yummy chocolates that
Yeah.
we thought, boy, we should have bought more of these.
We've had our fair share of truffles over the years, and these ones were
Excellent.
there was no bad one in the lot.
Yeah, absolutely excellent. In terms of this park, I think one of the things about it that is handy for us on this trip is our next step is to get on the Chichimon and sail over to Tobermory. And we are approximately 10 minutes north of South Baymouth, which is where we will get on the ferry. So very little left to chance in terms of making it there at the appointed hour and all that stuff. I think it would be interesting to come and use this place as a base to explore more of Manitoulin.
Yeah, I have to say that in our driving, we were surprised to see just how agrarian Manitoulin is. There is a lot of farmland on this island, which I had no idea.
And lots of little towns with interesting things to see. So definitely worth coming back and checking all of that out. In terms of the Dark Sky Preserve, as we discovered, that's a real crapshoot. And we got the crap and the shooting, but no shooting stars.
Yes.
So despite the fact that it is the towards the end of the Perseid meteor shower period for 2025, we're not seeing any of that through rain clouds.
Nope.
So that is disappointing, but we certainly can't blame the owners for the weather. The owners seem like nice folks. They're very, very friendly. Their daughter gave you a nice little flower that she had picked. So, yeah. Nice folks. And a nice campground, lots of stuff going on. I don't know that I would necessarily come here for a week hoping to get some good weather. I don't know if I would do that. Maybe I would. That'll be something to think about. It would be great to be here when the weather is, you have good luck with the weather and a nice clear sky. I can tell that it was certainly very dark last night. Not just because there were clouds out, but it was dark. So I imagine that a cloudless night would be a spectacular view.
Yeah, especially if you have not a lot of moon. So, there's so many things that need to come together in order to have that whole dark sky, amazing view of the stars. Our experience is, there's a good chance it'll happen, but c'est la vie.
We've had lots of great weather, not a lot of clear skies, honestly, because of all the wildfire smoke. But first part of the trip, we had no rain. And the last part of the trip, we've had about as much rain as you would usually expect, I guess. So that seems wet, given how little rain we've had camping all season, really.
Yeah, we've been very lucky.
Yeah. So there we are, the Manitoulin Eco Park and Dark Sky Preserve, Leg 11. Next stop, Tobermory.